Welcome, my name is Batten and I'm going to talk you through this session. A coach's introduction to coastal rowing. It is a self-guided learning module for World Rowing Level 1 Coastal Development Coach. The module will introduce you to the discipline of coastal rowing and signpost you to some of the great videos for you to watch. Coastal rowing is an official discipline of rowing and it sits alongside other disciplines like classic river and lake rowing, para rowing and indoor rowing. Coastal is defined by a set of measurements and regulation that the boats and rowers need to comply with to race. These can be found in World Rowing Rules of Racing on the website worldrowing.com. Head into Appendix 22 and 23 for the format departures that relate to coastal rowing. The boat itself is a universal boat design controlled by measurements that originated in France in the late 80s. Each class has a maximum length, two width measurements, an overall width and a minimum width set at a point in the hull. The main racing weight is set to keep the costs of boats affordable. If your boat is lighter than rules, you just need to put weight in your boat for racing. The rules also have some basic safety features required in their construction. Things like the ability to self-drain, 3 waterproof compartments, watertight compartments, and a towing eye. The boats themselves are designed to row safely in offshore waves. They're highly manoeuvrable and can be launched on and off sandy beaches. The aim of the design is to allow coastal rowers from all over the world to come together to race each other on equal terms. There are 3 boat classes: the solo, the coastal double, and the coastal coxed quad. They are all sculling, where the rower has a blade in each hand. The code for coastal is a C placed just in front of the number code. Coastal rowing, by its nature, is an unpredictable sport, and there are a few obligations rowers and coxes are expected to follow. Expected to understand and follow the local maritime rules, wear or have within easy reach an appropriate life jacket, and the cox must wear a life jacket. And of course, it's really important that as a crew you know what to do when you're swamped, capsized, or in need of a tow. In addition, international maritime law requires that all vessels, all boats on the sea should have one person responsible for safety and navigation. And in coastal rowing, we call this person the crew captain. The crew captain is expected to assess the risk and the ability of the crew to handle the conditions, to do the boat safety checks and complete the signing out process. During the outing, they need to monitor those conditions, the weather conditions, and make decisions on safety to ensure the crew respects all navigation and safety rules. And when they return, to complete the signing in process. You as a coach, you are probably going to be coaching beginner athletes, beginner boats, and it's important that you take on some of these responsibilities as you are supporting the athletes to learn to row. You can do that either by following in a motorboat or by keeping your athletes and your crews close by near you so you can cover this responsibility. There are 3 formats or pathways in coastal rowing: beach sprint, endurance, and touring. The beach sprint format is a very recent format, and it starts on the beach from a start line, running down the beach, getting into the boat, rowing around some buoys over 250 metres, turning round and coming back to the beach, landing on the shore, getting out of the boat and running up to the finish line. It uses a time trial initially to seed the crews and then a knockout system. The races typically last between 2.5 to 3.5 minutes depending on the ability of your athletes, and the venue is a gently sloping swimming beach where the waves are less than 1 metre. Successful rowers in this discipline need to be good runners, good rowers, have agility, turning power to turn the boat at the top mark, directional awareness to be able to slalom the buoys, and good wave handling skills. The endurance format is a much longer distance. It's between 4 to 6 kilometers course around a variable number of buoys, and that could be anything from 2 buoys up to 22 buoys, depending on who is designing the course. The start and the finish of the races can either be on the water or on the beach, depending on the specific location and the needs of the event organizer. Each race has between 10 and 20 boats racing on the same racetrack, which means boats must avoid each other at the turning marks. And typically, races last between 20 and 40 minutes. Rowers that are successful in this format need good watership skills, good endurance fitness, good navigation skills, and excellent race tactics. The tour format is not really specifically defined like the other two, but it is typically a longer duration. It can be over multiple days and have multiple stops along the route. It can be a race, it can be challenge, or it can just be a journey from A to B. Crews are often accompanied by motorboats or by land support. Successful rowers in this discipline have an ultra endurance, good navigation and good watership skills, and as well a sense of fun. So let me take you through now a few of the events and competitions that there are around the world. The beach sprint, and as I said, it's the young kid on the block. The beach sprint format started as a result of the emergence of the beach games. The first event for the format was in Italy in 2015 at the Mediterranean Beach Games. Since then, the beach sprint format has been held in beach games events across the world, from Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas. The first global event was in 2019, the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals in Shenzhen, China. This format will be raced in the 2022 Youth Olympic Games in Senegal. The Enduro format started in France in the late 80s, as I said, and it's based on the rules of sailing. The first World Championships was held in Cannes in France in 2007, and it's run annually for multiple crews per country. We've had up to 800 athletes at a World Championships in the past, and the championships have been held around the world, including Lima, Hong Kong, Victoria, Canada, and Lake Geneva in France. Touring, as I said, was a much looser format. Clubs and tour companies run thousands of trips around the world each year using coastal boats. The World Rowing Tour runs each year for about 60 people and often uses coastal boats. So we are now coming to the end of the presentation, and what you're tasked to do now is to take an opportunity to watch the videos and really dig in and get an understanding of what the 3 different pathways and formats look like. If you have experience of a particular format, spend more time searching out the other formats. This process, if you watch all of these videos, may take somewhere in the region of 60 minutes worth of videos in this section. So cherry pick what you want if you're a little bit tight on time. There is also a quiz to test your knowledge I encourage you to see whether you can answer all of these questions. If not, take the opportunity to run back through the recording. And thank you very much. That's all from me, and I look forward to seeing you at another webinar in the near future.